Hello class, I am Caitlin Melancon and I will be presenting group AMCB's mini lecture on the social psychology of false confessions. The media that I will be referencing today is of Nancy Franklin's presentation of her TEDx talk, Who Would Confess to a Murder They Didn't Commit? Maybe You. The presentation itself runs you just over 19 minutes, but today I will be lowering that time significantly to discuss the information there. Under our current justice system, it allows for us to take part in admitting to our crimes, this action alleviating funds and punishment to the accused as well as the judicial system. However, the way this transpires uses many tactics that in turn incarcerate innocent people. Wrongful convictions seem to be popping up over the past decades, but why are we seeing this trend? Well, about 75% of those cases involved eyewitnesses who had misidentified the suspect. Although this is a main contributor, there are many other factors involved. False confessions are in fact another big reason we have so many people falsely incarcerated. These lead to just another innocent victim paying for another's crimes. While this hurts to hear, the burden is past our empathy. It's actually into our wallets as well. On average, it costs about $60,000 a year for each incarcerated individual, and possibly millions of dollars if the case leads to an exoneration case, which would absolve said individual of this wrongdoing. But what would lead someone to confess? Confessions take place in small rooms spanning over many hours. In false confession cases, the average time spent there is more than 16 hours. That's 16 hours with no food, no bathroom breaks, and no outside communication at all. While in there are methods of invoking confessions that often include relentless intimidation, and that's because the person in the room is already assumed to be guilty. The interrogators are actually able to legally lie about ownership of incriminating evidence towards the accused individual. They will also press into the case, which leaks some inside knowledge of the crime that would later incriminate the falsely accused, since it would be tied to the classified files that only those intimately involved in the case would be aware of. Who is most affected by these circumstances, though? Well, minorities, non-native speakers, individuals in low-income areas, and those with previous criminal activity are all affected. Although one of the biggest communities affected by this are intellectually impaired individuals, who are actually overrepresented in the population of false confession cases because of their behaviors that allow for implication of themselves and otherwise answering leading questions. Mentally ill individuals who suffer from delusions, addiction, and poor judgment often refer to giving a false confession in order to simply escape the very stressful situation. Some cases even being that someone would give a false confession in order to just have another smoke. Although to a non-addicted individual, it may seem over the top. For somebody who is suffering from withdrawal, it may be the only thing on their mind. Children are also a very big amount of the people affected by these circumstances. Children make up for 1/3 of all false confession exoneration cases. and compared to adults, they often have poor risk protection, are more emotionally volatile, and suffer from not seeing long-term consequences for their actions. While these circumstances are not experienced by all, the wrongdoings are no less harmful to our communities. I hope that today you know a bit more about the problems surrounding false confessions within our judicial systems and how it relates to more than just law, but also to the study of social psychology.